Monsieur Trudeau, pourquoi avoir éliminé des pans de notre histoire du passeport canadien?
Les passeports sont refaits tous les 3-4 ans pour des mesures de sécurité. L'important pour les Canadiens, c'est de recevoir les passeports à temps et on va s'assurer de livrer des passeports pour les gens.
Mais la Légion est mécontente. La Légion est mécontente du fait que la crête de Vimy a disparu. C'est juste un manque de respect pour les vétérans.
Je pense qu'on a toujours démontré notre appui pour les vétérans, que ce soit le jour du souvenir ou tous les autres jours de l'année. On a renversé les coupures que M. Harper avait faites sur les vétérans. On va continuer de les appuyer à tous les jours.
Memorial. What do you say about that? I'd say that there's a number of ways that we want to continue to commemorate the service of men and women who fought for the Canadian Armed Forces. My grandfather was a Second World War vet. Our family grew up historically always commemorating their service, not just on Remembrance Day, but through the year. The passport design was a reflection of the feedback that we've received over the course of the consultation process, and we heard that we wanted to continue to focus on Canada's diversity, the natural environment that we enjoy, and reflect life experiences across different ranges of Canada. There's many opportunities that we have to continue to celebrate the men and women in uniform who've served Canada over the course of our history, whether that's through the ceremonies that we host, whether it's through commemorating them on our currency, on our buildings, the upcoming citizenship guide that we'll be looking to publish. There's a number of different ways we're going to continue to honor our veterans, but when it comes to the passport design, we wanted to have a wholesale change as part of the security features for the new passport, which makes it harder to counterfeit when you have a completely new theme with new images throughout compared to those that had been there previously.
What about Terry Fox? Terry Fox is right there on page, whatever it is, 31 there? Like, Terry Fox is gone, right?
Terry Fox is a national hero, and I've been working with a number of colleagues since before I held this position to advocate for his inclusion in a number of different pieces of memorabilia or opportunities to celebrate his contributions to Canada. I don't think there's a single person in Canada you'll find who are not inspired by the Marathon of Hope. But the passport design, I'd remind you, is only one opportunity to commemorate the service of many people who've made extraordinary contributions to Canada. Some of the other elements that I mentioned a moment ago will provide ample opportunities to continue to celebrate our nation's greatest heroes, including Terry Fox. So this should not be taken as you should not read into it that there's some criticism or dissociation with our nation's heroes or our veterans as a result of the new passport design. It's simply a reflection of the process that happens every 10 years or so that refreshes the images and the design and the themes chosen for the Canada's passport.
Mais oui, l'histoire dans ce passeport. Oui, passer l'histoire.
Juste répéter, français, c'était niveau...
Je veux vous entendre en français, mais où est passée l'histoire dans ce nouveau passeport?
Passer d'histoire?
Where is history in this new passport?
Oh, OK. Merci. C'est un travail en progrès maintenant. On se passe pour juste réfléchir le processus de consultation avec des personnes qui participent dans le processus. C'est très important de reconnaître l'importance pour les personnes qui participent dans le processus de souligner l'environnement naturel, de diversité au Canada et à chaque région de notre pays. Mais le passeport est juste un exemple, une opportunité pour souligner des contributions des Canadiens. C'est très important pour continuer d'utiliser des images d'histoire du Canada sur les monnaies avec les autres documents comme les documents pour citoyenneté. C'est difficile pour moi, je m'excuse. Et des autres opportunités dans des programmes sur le gouvernement fédéral. Nous continuons d'avancer des autres opportunités pour célébrer les personnes qui font une différence dans l'histoire du Canada, comme Terry Fox, comme des soldats et comme des autres personnes qui font une contribution plus grande de l'histoire du Canada.
Mais est-ce que le nouveau passeport est woke? Est-ce qu'il est woke, ce nouveau passeport? Is the new passport woke?
C'est OK en anglais? OK.
If you can try in French.
OK.
I appreciate that.
Ce n'est pas très important pour utiliser des phrases juste pour des clics sur Facebook. C'est très important pour réfléchir les perspectives des Canadiens. Maintenant, c'est important pour continuer de célébrer les régions du Canada. Quand vous regardez le passeport, C'est important de reconnaître les contributions des communautés autochtones. Ce n'est pas woke pour incluant des personnes autochtones. Ce n'est pas woke pour célébrer l'environnement naturel au Canada. Ce n'est pas woke pour incluant le cabane à sucre du Québec. C'est très important pour célébrer notre histoire, mais réfléchir les perspectives de les personnes qui participent dans le processus aussi. Okay. Sorry, question period. Okay, last one.
2 lines on woke. They are jealous of this.
Yeah.
Jealous of this clip. So is it woke or no? Is it isn't?
What's really important to me is that we actually focus on things that are going to make a difference to Canadians. I think when people fall into the trap of using a phrase, whether something's woke or not, for clicks on Facebook, that to me is demonstrating a lack of seriousness when we look at the opportunities we have to make a difference. I look at the passport as reflecting the feedback that came in. I don't think it's woke to celebrate Canada's natural environment. I don't think it's woke to include Indigenous peoples in the programs that we advance as Canadians. I don't think it's woke to include the sugar shacks of Quebec or fishing on the East Coast or swimming in lakes in Western Canada or Ontario. The document reflects, to me, a large part of what Canada is. If some people want to call it woke, some people want to complain about it, I think they're missing the point. I think we want to celebrate Canada to the fullest possible extent, and this passport is just one way that we can continue to reflect the contributions of Canada and the regions that make it up. Okay, I am late for question period. I'm so sorry. If you can catch me afterwards, I'll try not to run away from you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, so we've been working really closely with both chiefs. I don't have my note. Both chiefs, anyway, of the communities, and Chief Conroy, I call him, and Chief Sunshine. There's been a huge loss of infrastructure, no lives, thank God. About 4,000 people are evacuated, over 150 homes that have been destroyed or demolished, and a number of other community infrastructure facilities like Elder Centre, for example, or band council centres, those kinds of things. The community is still assessing what to do, all of the communities, in terms of the next steps. We're really focused on helping the evacuees right now. Many of them had to evacuate very quickly, and they had specific medical needs or left behind equipment. So we've been working with each member to make sure that they have what they need to get through the period of evacuation. In fact, many evacuees speak only Cree, so we've been making sure that they get language-appropriate supports and for mental health and stress, obviously trauma and shock that people are experiencing. And of course, the chiefs of both communities are thinking about what return looks like. Obviously, some members really want to go back quickly, but that has to be assessed in terms of safety. There's a really hot weekend coming, so we're keeping our eye on what will happen in terms of worsening conditions. But it's a very kind of live situation. And right now, the focus for the department is to really work with leadership and make sure that Chief Conroy and Chief Sunshine have what they need so that they can continue to support their members.
And in terms of federal support, what does that look like right now? What's already been sent? What's sort of being discussed as on the table?
So everything's on the table from Indigenous Services Canada's perspective. And as you know, the province, I think yesterday, put in a formal request for assistance. And I know Minister Blair has been working through those items. On our side, we're really there to support communities with whatever they need. And right now, as I mentioned, the focus is on the health and safety of the evacuees. We did some work together on the weekend around trying to prevent further destruction of infrastructure, and we'll continue to provide communities with financial and human resource tools as they request.
On another topic, what do you think of the new passport and the fact that there's no more Terry Fox, no more Vimy and Bridge?
I haven't actually seen the entire new passport, but I think you look at, documents and symbols evolve with the times, and I think there are always obviously emotional conversations. People are attached to specific icons or times in our history, and I imagine those are difficult decisions to make for the people that are designing those documents. Thank you very much.
M. Paul-Hus, avez-vous une réaction au nouveau passeport, la Légion canadienne qui déplore le fait qu'on ait retiré les références notamment à Vimy? Vous en pensez quoi?
Moi, ce que je trouve décevant, c'est d'enlever toute référence à notre histoire. Donc, tout aspect historique, comme justement les grandes victoires militaires qui ont fait en sorte que le Canada a aidé à libérer l'Europe, par exemple. Je pense que tout le monde se reconnaît dans ces symboles-là. Puis là, je pense que c'est plus un passeport qui est sans remettre en question le travail de l'artiste qui a travaillé là-dessus. C'est plus sans saveur, sans couleur, je dirais. C'est fade. C'est comme on élimine l'histoire, puis on essaie de mettre des petits écureuils, là, puis c'est cute, là, mais on pourrait garder une fierté. Je pense qu'on a une belle histoire au Canada, puis c'est décevant de voir qu'on veut toujours effacer ce qu'on a fait.
Vous avez eu une réunion ce matin du caucus. Avez-vous décidé si vous allez voter pour ou contre C13?
Sur quoi?
C13, la voix.
Ah, ben ça, c'est des secrets de caucus. Je verrai ça plus tard. Oh, okay. But I mean, for us, it's a bit disappointing that we erase all our history. So I think it's important to keep in mind that we fought to free Europe, example, the Second World War, how we have a huge military history, as an example, or sports like the hockey, whatever. So it's I think actually this passport is most kind of. Okay, I can't say anything against the artist who did it, but for me it's kind of it's very like a white page. Thank you.
And the PRC the Prague committee went completely unanimous, from what I understand. What do you make of that?
I think that all parliamentarians are trying to work together to make sure that we are fixing some of the problems that we see, and I think Prague's the right place for that to happen. I'm glad that the Liberals voted to move it to Prague as fast as possible.
Give me a sense of what witnesses you think should be called.
You know, that'll be up to the Prague committee. Certainly, I think that they should be hearing from impacted communities in Canada. Our perspective has also always been that this is something that we need to look at the influence of the Chinese government on our democratic institutions, but also other countries. You know, we've seen funding of the convoy from the United States. We have seen Russia, Iran, other bad actors that have in fact influenced our democratic institutions. So I'd like them to make sure that they are looking at that as well.
What about the breakdown in terms of the national security advisors, in terms of that information not getting to Mr. Chong? Would you like to see them being called, the ones who have been, had any hand or the changeover in any way?
I think it's very important that we're cautious and that we're thoughtful about how we do this so that national security is not put at risk, but that we are getting the answers that we need. And I hope that the members of PROC take that into consideration, and I'm quite confident they will. That's all I have for you, though.
National security not at risk.